Hi, this is Tim at the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions regarding this watch. Today we're discussing the Greubel Forsey Signature 1, designed and created by the man whose name is on the dial, Didier Cretin, a longtime employee of Greubel Forsey, who was given free rein and all corporate resources to create a watch after his own imagination. And so this watch is his undilute vision for what a fine timepiece should be using Greubel Forsey design and engineering codes. So it's relatively small by the standards of Greubel Forsey watches. This model came out in 2016. 11 pieces were made. This is a white gold example. It was made through 2022 in every variant of the model. So the production for the line started with this white gold model in 11 pieces and continued through 2022 with only 66 examples in every metal being made overall. What you're looking at here was made in 2016, but it is a 2018 sell. That is when this was originally sold. 41.4 millimeters in diameter in white gold, 11.9 millimeters thick, 49 from lug tip to lug tip, with a 21 millimeter spacing in between the lugs. Now on the wrist, it does wear like one of Greubel's smallest pieces. Unlike something along the lines of one of the Balancier or Balancier Convex sports watches, this is not a Greubel Forsey made simple for the sake of expedience, mass production, and low price. This is a simple Greubel Forsey, but it is exhaustively decorated in a fashion equal to their multi-tourbillon watches, the Sonnerie and the Double Balancier with its differential system. So this is a no-compromise Greubel Forsey that happens to be simple. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, you can see how well this fits. I'd recommend it for a wrist of 15 centimeters circumference and up, and it will fit underneath the cuff. The strap is high grade. You can see medium rectangular scale alligator leather, black semi-gloss, folded edge, monotone stitch on the bottom, Greubel Forsey factory strap, calfskin lining, superb condition. No crimping, no gouging, and a matching Greubel Forsey branded white gold pin buckle. And you can see Greubel's maker's mark on the back of that. You can see it as well on the reverse of the case and the man himself, Didier Cretin. The watch is fascinating in that it is very low volume, and several different versions were made, including white gold and platinum, rose gold, and so on. So those 66 were made in total. There's no more than a handful of any one given version. And let's face it, 66 is still very limited. Rolling around to the dial side, you can see the case is simple, Calatrava-like, with lugs blended into the case band, a little bit polished the flange of the case back, polished the flange of the bezel, and then this bevel that runs end to end while flaring on the lugs. Greubel Forsey has branded and lacquered the crown, push-down crown, 30-meter water resistance. The sapphire is quite nicely cambered. We have a dial that is made of solid gold and then silvered and calibrated with the numerals and the indices. You can appreciate the hands are fired blue steel, and their center cupped, polished, and the cannon pinion underneath them also polished. Individual numbering you can see on the dial side as well as the case back. Take a look at the attention to detail. The edge of the gold dial has been polished. The edge of the bridge on which it's mounted has been mirror finished. The little name, or I should say the numbering plate, has beveling on its side and satin on its top. All screw heads are mirror polished with chamfered slots in circumference. The base plate is media blasted. The inside of the case has been satinated. Take a look at the facet, the downward step to the base plate. You can see that these blackened and blasted downward steps are also beveled on their side, and that's before we even get to the balance bridge. You can see it's a full dual anchored balance bridge with a free sprung balance that allows precision of adjustment via this proprietary aerodynamic recessed screw balance. So very precise adjustment, but also great shock resistance with the free sprung architecture on the full bridge, because, for example, shock cannot inadvertently move one of these screws and change the timing. I wanted you to be able to see this balance because Greubel Forsey makes it in-house, and its size and prominence and unique recessed bolt aerodynamic free sprung design are part of the elemental appeal of this simple but highly refined watch. Now you can also see a hand-curved overcoil, so in any position physically it will breathe concentrically and keep consistent time. So now I'm going to fire everything up. By the way, Take a look at that bridge. See how it's been mirror polished on the top? This is what's meant by black polish. Look at the top of the bridge. From any angle except the one reflective angle, it looks black. That's what black polish means. Taking another look, you can see we have a second tiny little gold dial for the running seconds, and someone will ask, no, it does not hack, but sets very nicely, really glides. Taking a closer look at the bridge again, you can see that the top is mirror finished, but the edges are faceted, and we wind up with these interior angles where the two sides actually connect to the center. Note the use of KIF shock protection. There's no Inca block here. But also take a good look at the bridge under the balance bridge. That's been brushed atop its upward face and then beveled on its side. This is something that could be very easily overlooked, but the bridge below the balance bridge is also beautifully decorated. The free-sprung stud holder has been faceted and mirror finished, and it's just about time to take a look at the case back, but take a look at how this partial bridge for the dial features broad and luminous abrasive wheel style Côte de Genève, not the stamped kind. When we get to the back, you can see some things are mechanically inscribed, such as the serial numbers, maker's mark, signature 1, Greubel Forsey, that's all boilerplate. But now look where it says edition unique. You realize that was freehand engraved on the case back, and Greubel's using its own variation on the Haute head screw to prevent idiots and amateurs from opening the case. Good for them. 30 meters water resistant, so don't go swimming with it. We also have a little bit more freehand engraving for the individual numbering. Now the bridges are made of German silver, and they are frosted with a wire brush. So the reason German silver is used, along with these golden chaton cups for the pivot jewels, it's just a nod to the way pocket watches used to be made in Greubel Forsey's hometown of La Chaux-de-Fonds. You can also see that this caseback has spectacular depth. Take a look at these wheels. They are internally beveled. So to internally bevel a wheel with 5 spokes, because they have 2 sides and 5 spokes, you wind up with 40 interior angles per wheel. Now you can also see that we've got a dramatic mirror finished triple anchored bridge for the barrel. Manual wind, again 2.5 hertz. This watch has a 54-hour power reserve, and that bridge looms blazing bright. Again, that's black polish right there. And when I wind the watch, you can see the incredibly elaborate and unusual click mechanism right here that interacts with the sawtooth profile of the ratchet wheel to prevent the barrel from spinning backwards. You can also see that we have a pocket watch-like set of individual finger bridges leading down to the escapement. So instead of having one big mono bridge that covers all of these, we have these sort of finger-like appendages. And if you look carefully, you can see that although this is more of an antiquarian style, we do still have those inner angles. We do still have mirrored beveling on this case back, so it will not leave you wanting. A watch that is simple, true, 3 hands in a balance, but made with no compromise, and the absolute undivided vision of Didier Cretin, a watch created without compromise in the image of one man's dream. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.